product is lost as a consequence of occupational disease and accidents. Next slide, please. In looking at the standards, we can see that the ILO has provided standards across industries. Some of them are the Occupational Safety and Health Convention, 1981, number C155, Occupational Health and Safety Conventions, 1985. You have the Asbestos Convention, down there, that is the 1986. And you have the Chemicals Convention, 1990. That's why it's so important for people that work with chemical ingredients. Like you have workers that are cleaners in the businesses, in the offices. Like some of the products that they use, most of them is also very relevant because that's the only law that we have so far in Lagos State that addresses safety specifically. So being the safety arm of government that has been established for that purpose, the law is very relevant. It addresses all aspects of safety, just like the formulating of the policies, of the guidelines and all the regulations to adhere to and to guide us in our workplaces and in our place of businesses. So the objective of the legal framework in promoting the occupational safety and health is to secure the health, safety, and welfare of persons to protect persons other than persons at work against risks to health and safety that may arise out of or in connection with the activities of persons at work. We also have to look at the stakeholders that are engaged, that is involved. From the center, we see that the occupational health and safety that we are addressing, you see the ILO right there, because they issue the recommendations and all the conventions that is guiding the labor in all over the world. And since we are also a signatory to it, we take from it because it's the international best standards. You have CIPM, that's the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, because in most businesses and offices, it's the HR that have the responsibility also for occupational health and safety. Also, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, and the labor, and the government. So where you have the government, you have the Lagos State Commission.
Maybe those are the extreme can curve so that it will be diagonal for camera effects. Those are the two extremes. Let's raise our flags. Please ensure that your flag is conspicuous. On your left hand, and don't cover your face with the flag so that while the flag is showing, your face is not buried. Your right hand, yeah. Just take a look at the DG. That's the Vision 0. Then wave the flag. That's the launch. A round of applause for them, please. That's the launch. Zero injury in whatever facet. Zero.
Share information about safety concerns.
Sorry.
And let's build a positive safety culture.
I have a commitment to improve safety.
I also have a commitment to improve safety.
Safety laws are needed to protect all.
Our goal, increase safety and injury reduction.
Follow workplace rules, regulations, and procedures.
safer workplaces. Report all hazards and hazards.
Those who are seated, if you have your flags, let's also wave our flags. Those who are seated, please let's wave our flags.
Stand up, please. As spoken. I will allow my sister to speak. Talk about leadership now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. That caught me unaware. Safety is for all. Leaders.
Hello for all. Safety begins with me.
Safety first and safety always. And I think I share in that safety should.
Okay, we'll do that now. Okay, so let me step aside for now.
We'll take a goodwill message from one of our facilitators, Gillian Hamilton. She's from Managed Damage in Australia. It's a very short one. Please, let's be attentive.
We are not yet have been able to do our Vision Zero launch, but we will be doing one in August. So I welcome any of you who are able to travel to visit us in August to also see the Australian version of Vision Zero launch. Today, I will be talking about risk dollarization. Risk dollarization is transforming risk management globally, as it actually makes risk transform into a currency. My journey towards Nigeria first began when I met Sam and his counterpart at the Anatosh meeting in September, when there was the first ever launch by ISA, the International Social Security Association, and we met at the Anatosh meeting about the education of occupational health and safety professionals. I knew then that I would be friends with Nigeria forever, and we are now friends with Sam on the Facebook, and we would also like to invite all of you to be friends with Managed Damage on Facebook as well. If you go to the Facebook page and like the Managed Damage website, we will put you into the running to win a gorgeous little friend as well, Skip, who you would have seen in our previous pictures. He will be then sent over as a memento to say thank you for having us to visit you at the Vision Zero launch in Nigeria. In business, we aim to avoid the catastrophic. Terrible incidents like Rana, Bangladesh, Dreamworld close to home to us, the Deepwater Horizon, and even the Iboku rubber fire that occurred close to you, and I'm sorry for your loss. We are only happy to talk about the cost of damage when it's far too late. Why is it that we are so comfortable talking about how much this costs when it is a loss of a life? It seems that we are not so comfortable about talking about the cost of damage during our business times, which could be a way for us to be able to manage the damage. 2.3 million people die every year at work. 313 million people have workplace injuries, and 2.99 trillion is the cost of that damage. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I have never ever seen $1 million, let alone $1 billion, let alone $1 trillion. So I'm not entirely sure what $1 trillion is, and 2.99 trillion just sounds like a lot. So we try and make this relative, and we find that not everyone understands the key elements of safety, but people understand business and numbers. We find that if you have a good financial outcome, as in less damage costs, as in less people hurt, then a business also makes more profit. And in this case, it is win-win, which is not a very usual circumstance. We know that people in business have left brains. They are practical. They want descriptions of what they will get, why you need it and why not. They focus on the solutions. They want testimonials and they want to know what is the return of investment. Safety professionals often use their right brain. They are storytellers. They were looking for the short story, they want a climax, they want a resolution, they want to focus on comedy, they want to romanticize about good safety, and they want sparkling billboards. It's quite a different approach. And what we find is that risk dollarization, when you're talking about risk in numbers, is quantifiable instead of qualifiable. So we find that it's measurement in numbers. It's a hard science instead of a soft science, and it's a single reality. It doesn't matter if you don't like that particular worker who's been injured, because the costs are still there. Now, it's about budgets and business cases instead of paragraphs and convincing statements and begging for people to spend the right amount of money. We know that when you apply a financial approach to risk, that you create action. You start having business leaders understand what it is that we have been doing for so long, so wrong, and the costs that are lost, and the loss of productivity and efficiency.
Let me now formally invite the Director, Vehicle Inspection Service in Lagos State, Engineer Gbolahan Toriola, is going to speak on digital compliance to road regulations in Lagos, the journey so far. Please let's put our hands together to appreciate him.
Director General of Lagos State Safety Commission in absentia, Rep of the Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, my brother, Commander Omije, the former DG of Lagos State Development Center, am I right, ma? My colleagues from Ogun State, my brother, other guest speakers, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here today to inform the whole Lagos, because this event is something that I had to defer one meeting I was meant to be in Abuja to attend, because today is our technical working group meeting in Abuja concerning what we call Nigerian Road Safety Strategy, which the rep of the Corps Marshal mentioned. That is between 2014 to 2018, which we have been trying to implement in Nigeria. And Lagos State, being the coordinator of the Southwest, he said it. The governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, is the leader of digital compliance to road regulation in Lagos, journey so far. I was thinking, how come they came about this topic for us to come and talk about it? Because in March, we did what we call Safety Campaign Week, in line with UN Decade of Action and Nigerian Road Safety Strategies. We talk about safer road users. How do you ensure road users also comply with traffic rules and regulations? It's by engaging them. How do you engage them? Enlightenment, education. When you talk about compliance, compliance means education, enforcement. Before you enforce, you must educate. Let them know what you want. What you want every citizen or road users need to know about our road to ensure what? Reduction in carnage, reduction in accident, by then having what? Zero what? Loss of life. That is our own vision. Loss of life. We know there is no way you can prevent carnage or accident. But when there is carnage, there should be no loss of life, because you can't value life. So we did a safety campaign week in March, and our theme for this year, because we are still going to repeat it, is employing technology to enhance compliance and safety on our road. You can see it. It's almost the same thing with this. What has been the journey so far? Let's leave this abstract. So, the journey so far, the Vehicle Inspection Service is one of the government enforcement agencies in Lagos using to facilitate compliance on traffic rules and regulation. We also have other enforcement agencies in Lagos State, like LASMA, you all know, FRSC, even Safety Commission to also enforce in terms of regulation of workplace. So, and our activities has to do, whatever we do, it enhances other agencies' operations, like the Motor Vehicle Administration agencies, like the Drivers Institute, Board of Internal Revenue, Public Transport and Commuter Service, even insurance. Because before you can apply the road, you must have a minimum policy, which is a third party, which is key. So whatever we do on the road also enhances that, because you have to make provision for all this carnage we are talking about. You make provision for that. Even the last man, when you have a safer vehicle on the road, you ensure free flow of traffic. It is very key. So what is our vision? We're talking about Lagos Vision Zero. Every organization must have a vision. You must know your destination. Where are you heading to? Am I just walking on my own without a vision? If you don't have a vision, you should not be existing. Being here today, I have a vision. By delivering what? Efficient and automated service. That automated service is what we call digitized. I want us to listen to all those keys. Is digital automated service that could what? Ensure safe road transportation that meet what and whatever you are doing is it from others. So we have mentioned Sweden today. That Sweden have the best transportation system with what? Almost zero carnage, zero loss of life. How can we achieve that? We can learn from them and adopt that to our own environment. It is very key. How do you achieve your vision? It's through the mission. Employing technology, training your staff, having what you call engagement with stakeholders. It is very key. What are your core values? Our own core values have to do with courtesy, discipline. Somebody mentioned maybe part of what we have our officers acting by the rules of engagement. But I want to tell you, there are 3 factors we ensure our officers employed to enforce the rules. The job must be done. The duty that was given to the VIS must be done. 2, the safety of officers is also key. Safety of officer at your workplace. Even when you are walking on the road, that is your workplace when you are enforcing. And the dignity of the citizens. You must not diminish their dignities. Well, we have been to maybe the country, right there they are enforcing the law, they still be respecting you.